This presentation will talk about the contribution and invention of different scientists who have helped the development of humanity all of the time from English culture. Each has had a huge impact on the scientific community and are now the basis of many technological and scientific advances. Aspect number 1. Isaac Newton. Advance in the world of optics. Newton discovered that white light coming from the sun decomposed into all other colors. The phenomenon of the rainbows had always fascinated him, so he studied them and discovered that they were formed by the color decomposition of white light. As a part of experiments, Newton saw exactly the same thing happening with prisms, and white light was the combination of the entire spectrum. This was a revolution in science until the moment it was thought that light was something homogeneous. From that moment, nothing that light could decompose was one of the foundations of modern optics. Aspect number 2. Charles Darwin. Species do not remain static over time. They evolve. Darwin showed that organisms do not stop changing, so that species are something dynamic. It had always been thought that the species we see now were the same from the onset of life. However, Darwin showed that organisms keep changing, so species are somehow dynamic. It was simply a problem of perspective because evolution is a process that takes millions of years. To bring about noticeable change and humanity has been on Earth for less than 200,000 years, so we have now had time to appreciate the phenomenon of evolution in the rest of the animal species. Aspect number 3. Alexander Graham Bell. The controversy of the telephone. Graham Bell is known for being the inventor of the first patented telephone. However, he also worked in the field of sound and the development of systems that were suited for the deaf, as well as being one of founders of the National Geographic Society. On March 10, 1876, he broadcast the first sentence of the story via telephone. In the 1874, while working on the multiple telegraph, he developed the basic ideas of what the phone will be. He successfully tested his experiment on March 10, 1876, and his research allowed him to obtain the patent of the telephone in America. In the same year, although the device had previously been developed by Antonio Meucci, the latter being finally recognized as its inventor on June 11, 2002. It was in 1876 during the Centennial Exhibition in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that he definitely launched his invention around the world, and led him to organize the Bell Phone Company in 1877. In 1878, he opened the first telephone exchange in New Haven, Connecticut, United States. And in 1884, the first long-distance call was made between the cities of Boston and New York. Aspect number 4. Tim Berners-Lee, creator of the Internet. Creator of the World Wide Web, the system that followed used to know the Internet as it is today. In addition to being the director of the World Wide Web Consortium, having boosted integration in 1994. In 1990, with the help of Robert Callio, he created the first version of the World Wide Web, the first web browser, and the first web server. It was brought online in the 1991. InfoCern Sage was the address of the world's first website and the web server which ran on the next computer of CERN. Developed what is called HTML of the Hypertext Tag Language HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and the Object Localization System in the Web Word Uniform Resource Locator. Aspect number 5. Stephen Hawking, the nature of the black holes. More complex theories of quantum physics to explain its nature from physical laws. A hole is a region of space which shows a high mass concentration that it generates incredibly large gravity, so great not only can matter escape this attraction, neither does light. This is what we know what about test objects before Stephen Hawking's breakthrough. They were absolute mystery. Their nature was not understood, nor did understand how physical laws could be integrated into them. Stephen Hawking looked at Einstein's work as basis and applied very complex theories of quantum physics to explain in the nature from physical laws. Their discovery and contribution to the study of test objects that seemed to fulfill what we knew about physics helped to glimpse that from quantum physics they could be understood. For conclusion, I did this more specific research regarding invention and contribution, as in my consideration they are part of the most important for the development of humanity. Thanks for all these scientists and inventors. We have the technology we know today. Think for a moment what our life would be like without those advances, without those inventions. How this has contributed in how way and our daily life. I have observed modern medicine, animal species research, and human development. As outer space and communication around the world behave thanks to the internet and conventional telephone. I hope the presentation was to your liking. Thank you very much.